Okay, so I could just give you the assets yourself to do all this, because I have the assets, but I'm going to show you how to create your own, because really, if you want to add more stuff like, you know, pairs of sunglasses, or a new shirt, or whatever, you're going to want to add it through this app here, which is called Fuse CC. It's a app that is added, it was made by Adobe, and it's kind of integrated with Mixamo. It's a really good app anyway, so I recommend downloading it. Fuse CC is the name of the app. You can download it through the Creative Cloud app with that Adobe offers. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a mail. I'm going to use mail fit A, and I'm just going to use all the same stuff, like even for the torso here. The leg can be the same as well. The arm. Alright, so now we have a full skeleton in the T-pose here. And we want to save him as the base. So if we go to File, Save... actually, sorry, we're not going to save him yet. We're going to go to Animate with Mixamo. And I'm just going to call him Toby, because I think Toby's a sick name. So we'll get... You know what? You know what's better than Toby, guys? Eugene. You can't get better than Eugene. That is the best name. Hands down, best name. 2016. Eugene. Anyway, so we're gonna send him off to the Mixamo pipeline, whatever that is, and he's going to appear on Mixamo pretty soon. So, oh, you're also going to need a an Adobe account for this, by the way, because Mixamo requires you to log in. Anyways, on the Mixamo website, you're going to see this. It might take a little while to do the auto rigging or whatever it does. So once we're finished in Fuse CC, you're going to see our character here, looking all sexy. I'm not going to have the skin and stuff on him though. As you saw in the preview, I took all the skin off. But you can keep it if you want. The skin's a little bit buggy right now. Anyways, so we're just going to go ahead and go finish. And then click on animate. And I'm just going to get some real basic animations, just so he doesn't look ridiculous. We'll get an idle animation. So just click on add to pack. We're going to get a walk. And you want to check this box here that says in place. And we'll just go add to pack as well. And then finally we're going to add a jogging animation. So to do that we'll just click on that one there, looks fine. And again you want to make sure you check in place, and then we're going to go add to pack. And I'm going to call this pack Toby again. Actually, no. His name's Eugene, isn't it? Eugene. There we are. So now what we're going to do is go to Add to My Assets. And you'll notice that In Place has been taken away. You need to recheck that box. That's a bug with Mixamo. And then click on View/Download. Okay, now we're going to click on Queue Download, and I'll just verify that jog is also in place. Yep, we'll click Queue Download, and then there's an option here, FBX for Unreal Engine 4, and we're going to select that, and then go to Queue Download. It shouldn't take long to process, and once it's done you can see your download is available. Download Eugene. So we're going to click on that. And the result is you will have a little zip file that downloads. So that's all done. We're going to come into a new project here. And I'll be back in a second. I'm just going to unzip the folder and I'll show you guys what to do after that. Okay, so I'm here inside my project and I'm going to click on the sources panel on the side here. Come into the content folder, and then I'm going to make a new folder here called characters, and I'm also just going to put another folder inside there called Eugene. Inside of Eugene I'm going to make another folder called animations. I'm going to make a folder called skeleton and a folder called materials. So there we have it. Open up your Eugene folder once you've unzipped it, and then just drag in eugene.fbx. And here's the import options. Don't worry about import animations for now. And then just click on import all. What I'm going to do now is move all the skeleton stuff into the skeleton folder. So I'm going to click on Eugene, the physics asset, and the skeleton, and just drop it in here. And then all of the material stuff can go in here. I'm going to come back into the Eugene folder here, and I'll drag idle, jog forward, and walking into the animations here. For the skeleton, I want to select Eugene skeleton, and then we just go import all. Save. And if I open up jog forward, you should see our buddy Eugene here. And the material makes his face look absolutely horrifying. I mean, it is... Get a load of this, guys. Check this out. Mixamo exports their skeletons looking like that. There is a way to fix it, and I couldn't figure it out, so... Yeah, I don't want to have to look at that while I'm making my game. That just terrifies me. So what we're going to do, actually, is just come to Materials, and we're just going to delete the material here. And now we just have this guy, which is only slightly less scary than what we had before, but it's at least somewhat less scary, so we'll go with that instead. Under animations, I'm going to make a new blend space. A blend space is just a way of blending between a few animations, so I'm going to click on Eugene Skeleton, and I'm going to call this BS underscore idle walk jog underscore Eugene. I'm going to set the range from 0 to 600. The reason being because our movement speed goes from 0 to 600. And then just click on Apply Parameter Changes. Idle. Jog goes in the middle and... Oh, sorry. Jog goes at the end. And walking goes in the middle. And so now we have a blend space that blends between standing idle, walking, and jogging. And that's really all we need just to get started for now. This is kind of frustrating and annoying, but we're going to have to do a little bit more setup. So I'm going to come to C++ classes, clothing system. Right click, new C++ class, show all, anim instance. And basically what we're doing here is we're just setting up our own custom character. And the reason for this is because I don't want to try putting the character clothing on the mannequin. I'd rather just do it on my own mannequin, because I know it's going to work. So I'm going to call this anim instance Eugene. Click on create class. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is go back to our character. Inside of animations, I'm going to right click and make an animation blueprint. And we're going to click anim instance Eugene and click on our Eugene skeleton and then go OK. And I'll just call this animbp underscore Eugene. I'll open this up, and all it's going to be is just a really simple state machine. And I'm going to call this walking, because that's all the state machine's going to do, is just make our character walk. So right off the entry node, we're going to add a state. Idle, walk, jog. Double click on that. And then we're going to play our blend space here. And that's all we need for now. I don't know if we can get the character. Nah, I'll just do it in my C++ code. So what we're going to do here is come into clothing system. And we're going to add a protected section, and I'm just going to make one variable, float movement speed. Don't worry if you're not really fully understanding this stuff, guys. This is just setting up our character's animation. We need to do this so that we can put some clothing and stuff on it later on. So we're going to make this a U property edit anywhere. Blueprint read only. And then I'm going to make a virtual void function called, I'll just call it update animation properties. And then in here we just say anim instance Eugene update animation properties. I'm going to make a pawn, and we'll set that equal to try get pawn owner. And we're going to say that if we successfully got the pawn, then movement speed is equal to pawn get velocity dot size. So that will get a value for us that tells us how fast our player is moving. And I'm pretty sure that's all we need, really. Oh yes, I need to make this blueprint callable. And any blueprint callable functions always need to have a category. So I'm just going to call this animations. Oh yes, size is a function, so we need to put brackets on there. And I think that's all, so we'll build, and hopefully that works. There we have it, so everything worked out okay. I'm going to come back to our clothing system here. Right click and then type in get movement speed. So now that we have the movement speed, we can plug it into this blend space, and now we have a character that should be able to walk. If I update this movement speed here, you'll see my player will actually start to walk, which is exactly what we want. Next thing I'm going to do is go back to Fuse CC, and I'm going to add some clothing. So to do this, we'll just go into the clothing tab here, and then we're going to add some clothing. So I don't know, this leather jacket looks okay. So I'm going to click on File, Animate with Mixamo once again, and I'm going to call this leather jacket, and then click on Save. While we're waiting for that, if I come back here, we'll come into our character. I believe it's in here somewhere. Here we are, third person character. And we're going to switch that mesh out for our own custom one that we made. So if we click on mesh here, we can switch this over to Eugene. And then click on anim class and change that to blueprint Eugene. So now we have our character, our friendly little guy Eugene over here, looking all happy as usual. And we want to add a skeletal mesh to Eugene, because every piece of clothing that he wears is going to be a skeletal mesh. So his shirt is going to be a skeletal mesh, his pants are going to be a skeletal mesh, and we need to make these in our code here, which is very easy to do. So we just open up the character, and in the .h file, I'm just going to add a part here. I'm going to say uProperty. We'll just say edit anywhere, why not? And I'm going to call this, we'll make a uSkeletal mesh. And I'm going to call this shirt mesh. And I'm just going to duplicate that, and I'll make another one for now called pants mesh. So we have a shirt mesh and we have a pants mesh. And I need to initialize these, so to do that I just say shirt mesh equals create default subobject skeletal mesh shirt mesh, and we'll also do pants mesh. And for this to work, we need to attach these to our skeleton. So to attach it to our skeleton, all we do is say set up attachment, and then to get the skeletal mesh we just use get mesh. We'll do the same here for our pants. And hopefully there's a begin play here. Doesn't look like there is. Okay, what we're going to do is come into the .h file and override the begin play function. So I'm just going to say virtual void begin play override. So this is just a function that is called when we begin play. And what I need to do is say shirt mesh set master pose component, and then we use the main mesh's master pose. Get mesh is just returning the main skeletal mesh that comes with our character. We need to do the same for pants mesh here. So what we're saying is make our pants and our shirt follow the same pose as our main skeleton. And then I'm just going to say super begin play, and there we go. So that's really all we need to do for now. I'm just going to build that. And when I get back, we'll go back to Mixamo and I'll show you what to do with the jacket that we saved. Alright guys, so we're back inside of Mixamo, and here is our character with the leather jacket on now. So what I'm going to do is go to Finish, and then View in My Assets, and then we're going to click on Q Download. So we're not downloading any animations, we're just downloading the mesh, so just click Q Download, FBX for Unreal Engine, and then Q the download. So now we're downloading leatherjacket.zip. Now what you want to do is open up Maya. Don't worry, you don't have to know much about Maya at all to do this. We're going to click on New Scene. Come into the zipped leather jacket. And then just drag leatherjacket.fbx into Maya. So what we need to do now is delete all of the skin mesh, because we already have a skin mesh. We just want the jacket. So just click on the mesh here, hit delete on your keyboard and it'll delete it. And then you want to delete the eyeballs and the eyelashes as well. And now we are just left with the jacket, which is the part that we want. But you'll notice that the skeleton is still there. We want the skeleton to be there too, so that's good. Now we're just going to go to File, and then we're going to click on Export Selection, and I'll probably just export it to my desktop. Okay, now we drag the leather jacket into, we'll just drag it into the Eugene folder. For the skeleton, you want to use the Eugene skeleton, and don't worry about importing any animations, and then just click Import All. We're going to make a folder in here called Clothing. Inside of there, I'm going to make another folder called Leather Jacket. And then we're just going to move all of that stuff into the Leather Jacket folder. So all of this stuff here just goes into Leather Jacket, which is in Clothing. So once it's moved in there, we're ready to continue. If I go back to my Clothing System character here, I want to also add Blueprint read write on there as well. So now we're just going to make a real simple HUD. I'm probably not going to make a HUD as complex as I showed you in the intro, just because it would probably take too long. I just want to make it nice and fast, so where have I put new folder? That's weird. Anyways, I'm going to make a new folder called HUD. And then we'll right click and go User Interface Widget Blueprint. I'm going to call this HUD underscore clothing selector. Open that up, and all I'm going to do is just add a couple of buttons, just because I really don't want to drag on too long with this. So what I'm going to do, oh, also make sure you go to screen size and select 1080p. And then I'm just going to drag this out. Just make the color black. Add some text here. Just say a clothing selector. And now we're just going to add some buttons to change our clothing. So we'll add a button here. And we'll put some text on the button. I'm going to make it black, and we'll just say leather jacket. Click on the button here. I'm going to rename it to jacket button. And then click on clicked. Click on the plus here. When we click the jacket button, all I want to do is get the character, cast it to our character we made, which is this one here, I think? No. Might be that. Drag that up. No, I don't think that's it. I'll be back in a sec. I just need to check what the character's called. Okay, so I had to compile again, but it's actually clothing system character, so you just drag out and then go cast to clothing system character. We're going to right click convert to pure cast. Drag out from that. And then I'm going to type in set skeletal mesh. And you can see we can choose from pants or shirt. I'm going to choose shirt. And then we're going to plug the jacket button on clicked into there. Don't worry about re-init pose, and then we'll select the leather jacket. And then just compile and save. And that's almost done. The next thing I actually forgot to mention, we're going to go to animations, animation blueprint, come to the event graph, and then where it says update animation, just drag off and type in update animation properties. You just have to make sure to do that, otherwise it won't animate properly. And then we need a fast way of putting our HUD on the screen. I'm just going to use the level blueprint to do this. So I'm just going to type in C. And then when the user presses C, we're going to get the controller, type in create widget. We're going to make our clothing selector widget. And then just drag out again and type in viewport and then go add to viewport. And so when we press C, that will show our HUD on the screen, hopefully. So if I press C, there we go. Now there is a problem, we don't have a mouse cursor, so I'm going to get out of that and then go back into my HUD, go to the graph for my HUD, and then I'm just going to say in the construct here, so when my HUD appears on the screen, we're going to get the controller, and then set the input mode to UI only. We're just going to get self and plug it in here. And then we need to show the mouse cursor. So we just drag up from here and set show mouse cursor to true. Plug that in. And one thing that I also forgot is we need a exit button, so I'm just going to put a little button in the corner here. And when you click it, we are just going to remove from parent. And that will remove the widget from the screen. But before we do that, even, we're going to get the player controller again. and set the input mode back to the game, just so the player doesn't have to click to get back into the game. So there we go. So let's try it out. If I go to C here, click on leather jacket, I now have a leather jacket, and the leather jacket updates with my game here. So there we go, guys. It's that easy. That's how to set up a jacket that animates with your character. You can add tons more stuff. I mean, let's just quickly go over the pants. Why not? So I'll come back into here, bottoms, and then we'll just go with these bootcut pants. They look alright. Animate with Mixamo, and you want to do the exact same thing that you did for the leather jacket. So I'll see you guys when you've downloaded it and saved it, and we'll drag it into Maya. So instead of saving as leather jacket, I've saved it as jeans this time. So we just drag jeans into here. And we just delete everything except for the jeans. Now, what you could do if you wanted to is you could have outfits by combining, you know, the jeans and the jacket together, but we just want the jeans in this case. So I'm going to go to File, Export All, and just do the exact same thing as I did for the leather jacket. So just like last time, I have this folder here called jeans, and then we just drag jeans and drop it in. We need to select the jeans skeleton, just like we did last time, and then we just click on Import All again. You may like to scale it up slightly. That might work for decreasing the chance that the base skeleton will, you know, morph its way through the clothing. Because sometimes you can see parts of the base skeleton poking through the top and stuff, so you can do that if you want. Anyways, here we have our jeans. I'm going to go back into the HUD here, and we'll just add another button. And we'll just change this to jeans, and we'll say that when you click this button, we want to just get the pants mesh and set the skeletal mesh to our jeans. Uncheck the reinit pose box, and we should be good to go. So compile, save, play, and if I press C, click on jeans, we now have a pair of jeans. Leather jacket, I've now got a jacket as well. So that's how to make a really easy set of clothing in Unreal Engine. You can see actually my character's back is slightly poking through the jacket. So that's what I mean when I say that you might want to scale up the size of the clothing just slightly, just so that the character doesn't poke through the clothes. But as you can see, this pretty much works perfectly, and you can put this in your own game. You may need to look into fixing the materials. Sometimes, as you can see there, the material goes invisible in some parts. That's a problem with Mixamo. I believe there is a forum thread on how to fix that, but anyways, there you guys go. There's the basic concept of using a master pose component to set up a clothing system in Unreal Engine. You can continue to work on this and make it, you know, bigger and expand it. I'd be, you know, real interested to see what you guys come up with. So definitely tweet at me and show me what you've made. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed.